You may not always want to rely on the way the object is deconstructed to write a pattern that matches a given property. In the order processor, where the freight cost is calculated, you saw that the property pattern was being used. The property value is matched against something known as a constant pattern. This used a Boolean to match the value of the property. Other constant patterns could be, for example, numbers, characters, string literals, enums, or a constant field. The property pattern does not have to be used together with the type pattern. In fact, the property pattern will ensure that you have an instance, and then let you write nested patterns for the properties of the type. Notice what happens if we remove the Swedish Postal Service shipping provider type before accessing the property deliver next day. Removing the type produces a compiler error. This is because deliver next day is a property that only lives on the type that we defined before using the type pattern. The only properties shared amongst all the different shipping providers can be seen if we explore the available properties. So what's really interesting is that we can add the type pattern back, then use this nested pattern to apply a property pattern. We can access properties of the actual type. This is why deliver next day is available. If you first write if order is followed by open and close curly braces, this could ensure that the order is set to an instance. A rather interesting way to perform a null check. You can even check properties of properties. For example, if the order is an instance and the property freight cost on the shipping provider is more than 100, we'd like to evaluate this expression. This combines the type pattern, property pattern, constant pattern, and the declaration pattern. You're not limited to just checking one property. You can write patterns for multiple properties by simply adding one after each other, separated by a comma. This is extremely useful if you don't want to rely on deconstruction. And in a lot of cases, using the property pattern makes it much more readable. It really depends on the situation. As with any language feature, you should use it with caution. And I really can't stress that enough. Overusing or misusing pattern matching can lead to completely unreadable code. In most cases, you will find that it's absolutely pleasant to work with, and does in fact make the code easier to work with.